said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me, when a moment came that sweet time. I asked him when it sank in that this might really be the real end. How's it hit you when you get that kind of news? Man, what'd you do? And he said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. He said I was finally the husband, and most of the time I wasn't. And I became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden going fishing wasn't such an imposition. And I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. Well, I finally read the good book, and I took a good long hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. And then I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Like tomorrow was a gift, and you got eternity to think about what you do with it. What did you do with it? What did I do with it? What would I do with it? Man, I love deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I watched an eagle as it was flying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying.
In the summer of 2014, I rediscovered the magical world found in Frances Burnett's story, The Secret Garden, a timeless tale of a special place where magic, hope, and love grow. It has been decades since I first encountered this story, and over the years I've come to see it as a story of the healing, curative power of love inherent in all living things. A tale whose magic comes from what we can learn when love touches the heart, bringing to life the secret gardens of creative energy we carry deep within us. It is the search for the key to unlock the secret garden, along with the discoveries made in the garden, that makes this story so appealing. 2 unloved children, Mary and Cullen, raised by servants, kept distant from even more distant parents, discover the key to unlocking the wellspring of self-healing when they find the transforming power of love. For the first decade of their young, pampered lives, these 2 were rude, thoughtless, foul-tempered, overindulged children. All they had to do was demand, and their wish was met. Mary, described as sour-faced and spoiled, apparently became more aware of her own meanness when confronted with the selfishness and tantrums of Cullen. But it was the love Mary received from the Simple Gardens family, and a friendly little bird to which she attached human qualities that transforms and releases Mary from her selfish, self-centered world. And Colin learned love from Mary. Crippled as they were in body and mind when we first met them, Mary and Cullen grew up to discover the best way to find your own dreams is to find joy in helping others realize their dreams. The discovery of the nurturing ability to love and be loved, making life more than a meaningless jumble of wants and needs, is the ageless magical adventure of the Secret Garden. Not too far from our summer lake home, I found a landscape nursery that became the context for these reflections of the Secret Garden. Let me take you there as we listen to the time in the story when Colin says to Mary, "I go every day to the garden. There is magic in there. Even if it isn't real magic, we can pretend it is, because something is there. Something, I tell you." "It's magic," said Mary. "They always called it magic, and indeed it seemed like it. Oh, the things which happened in that garden. If you never had a garden, you cannot understand. And if you had a garden, you'll know that it would take a whole book to describe all that came to pass there." Like the roses, they come alive day by day, hour by hour, and the buds, tiny at first, but swelling and working magic until they burst. Magic is a great thing, Mary concluded, and scarcely anyone knows anything about it, except you have to prepare the ground, do the work to make the way for magic to happen. Where you tend a rose, my lad, a thistle cannot grow. Tucked away in the Appalachian Mountains, along the border of Georgia and North Carolina, in a quiet hollow of scenic Mount Bell, is Lewis Nursery. This is where I found a couple whose lives reflect the Secret Garden's message, the message I discovered in the summer of 2014, which says, "Of course, there must be lots of magic in the world, but people don't know what it is like or how to make it. Perhaps the beginning is just to say nice things are going to happen until you make them happen."
In the mid-'70s, my wife was running a nursery in Athens, Georgia, and there was a gentleman from Hayesville that would bring plants down. His name was Charles Poor, and we had saved some dollars hoping to come to the mountains one day, and on a whim we asked our good friend Charles if he knew of any land for sale in the Hayesville area, and he said, "Well, yeah, I know of a few parcels." So we came up with him, and at that time this was his house, so he sold us some property out Tusquity. We lived there for 8 years with an outhouse, during which time Charles sold this property to my wife's father, and he decided to move to Hiawassee, and my wife thought indoor facilities would be nice, so we purchased this from her father. And as Charles Poor used to say, "Fred, you and Lori are in the poorhouse now," and he was right. So we've been here ever since, and I guess that was about 35 years ago that we purchased this property, and we're very fortunate. It was already quite a bit of a garden. We have a penchant for Japanese maples and dwarf conifer type plants, and at the same time quite a few different unusual plants, a bit rare. Through the years we've had access to a lot of plants that you typically don't see, a lot of yeah, it's a very nice setting. Oh, well, there's a garden area up there. Yes, sir. There's little hidden nooks and crannies all over this place. So feel free to avail yourself. And yeah, they're up the hill. I can point you the way.
Okay.
But there are some little. There's a variety of a wild ginger, which they call little brown jug. There are hardy cyclamens. Quite a few different unusual plants up there that most people never see. All right, you're quite welcome. Thank you.